you have to sit down and have a conversation with him about it. I would even maybe record the conversation, not necessarily with his consent. And here's why. Hi everybody, and welcome back to our channel. I don't know what is in the water, what is in the wind, what is going on, but it seems like husbands are the problem on Reddit, y'all. Like, I'm not even trying to vilify men and husbands, but the majority of the issues that we've had have been with men. I'm looking at another marriage post today with the title, Struggling with My Husband's Response to Discrimination. Hi everyone, I'm an Indian woman married to a white British man, and I'm really struggling with how my husband handles situations where I experience discrimination or racism. I'll break it down into how he reacts to different types of people, his family, his friends, and strangers, all of which I'm assuming are insufficient reactions. Immediate family. He calls them ignorant and expects me to just forgive them.
I beg your pardon?
For the most part, I've stayed quiet and convinced myself that maybe they truly are ignorant, accepting that they don't want much to do with me beyond being their son's wife. But recently, I saw more blatant racism from them, like when his mother was so nasty to his grandparents' black carer that she quit in tears and didn't even come back to collect her final payment. My husband said nothing about it. Friends. He's more willing to take actions with friends. One of his former housemates said something really offensive to me, and my husband called him out and distanced himself from that person. They even stopped being housemates after that.
Punch him. Punch his face off.
Strangers. This one is more complicated. Is it really though? Another example is from our wedding, where the registrar kept mispronouncing my name even after I corrected them several times. My husband sent a short email afterwards, but when he didn't get a reply, he didn't follow up or push for an apology. It seems that he's not really standing up for me. I wish he would recognize his privilege and use it to advocate for me in these situations. When I brought this up today, he said it all feels like a constant battle and that he avoids confrontation because it's just part of being British. Avoiding confrontation is part of being a coward, sir. For those in interracial relationships, how do you handle this? I could really use some advice. I actually had an experience like this. I dated a man whose mother was straight up racist. He never defended me once, either in front of her or behind closed doors. If you want the full story time, you will find it in the description after watching this video. I do understand what it feels like to be in a situation where you're not defended and you feel completely vulnerable and not understood or supported by your partner. It's emotionally distressing, and the fact that your husband is not willing to recognize that he is contributing to a stress and not looking out for your well-being, major red flag, ma'am. If you valuing having a culturally aware partner that recognizes their privilege is something that's important to you, then you should have made that very clear from the beginning of the relationship and really vetted and taken into consideration his response to how people treated you from the beginning. There's no need to categorize this, that, and the third. You're the problem for expecting behaviors out of him that he's never going to give you, and he's the problem for even entering into this relationship with you knowing he wasn't willing to defend you. So as far as what you can do, you have to sit down and have a conversation with him about it. I would even maybe record the conversation, not necessarily with his consent. And here's why. Emotions have the tendency of getting high and running rampant when you have these kinds of conversations that are high stakes. In the moment, you might not be able to process everything that is being said to you or the lack of responsibility that the person is taking for their actions. And you can go back later and listen to the conversation with a clearer head and go, yeah, no, I am completely valid in what it is that I am expecting of this person. Or I don't think that I was blowing things out of proportion the way that this person said that I was. Keeping a journal so that you can document the issues that are happening and no one can tell you that it didn't happen afterwards is also helpful. The biggest thing you're going to have to do is sit down with this person and also sit down with a counselor and figure out what your next steps are, because this marriage is not going to be healthy or get healthy with the way that you both are operating right now. There's a couple of comments from people who are in mixed race relationships, but I feel like this comment hits it on the head. Firstly, I'm sorry to hear you're going through this. The double standards, subtle racism, and ignorance from your husband and others is upsetting and highly irritating. I am a 27-year-old black woman engaged to a 24-year-old white man. We live with his family out in the middle of nowhere. I am one of maybe 10 black people who live here total. Safe to say it was an extreme extreme adjustment. Before we got engaged, I made sure to have a very long, detailed discussion with him about racism and how he perceives it, how he'll protect me, and how he reacts to it. Happy to say he gave all the right answers. This is a discussion I try to bring up a lot, as I believe a lot of problems are situational and depend on how we both see it. There have been a few times where I've had to explain to him how something that happened while he wasn't looking or wasn't there was racist. He was and is always open to listening and learning. It was a major concern I had when deciding to date a man outside of my race. During these conversations, my fiance told me that there's been a couple of times where he's had to defend me and my race with either coworkers or friends who make nonsensical comments or ignorant remarks. When I've told him that people are staring at us, he generally enjoys turning around and staring at them back. But I say all of this because he does actively try to understand what I'm telling him and when I'm uncomfortable. He asks questions to learn about my race and when certain situations are actually racism or it's just someone being rude. I personally think continuously having conversations with him, explaining how you feel and how it comes across to you will help. It has to be an in-your-face type of thing. He has to want to change the way he views living life with an Indian woman as a white man. Literally put himself in your shoes. If he's not willing to do that, then are you willing to stay with a man who doesn't see you and your skin color, who does the bare minimum of defending you? Where is it that you draw the line? As a Black woman, reading this post from another Black woman, I really appreciate that she took the time to go through all of the little things like microaggressions and recognizing the validity of the experience that this Indian woman is having. It's real, right? And a lot of people, when those things aren't addressed, they feel like, am I making this up? Am I exaggerating? Or they are put in a position where they are told that things aren't as bad as they're making them seem. I have been in dating relationships where men have said, oh, this is exhausting. All you want to do is talk about race and all you want to do is talk about X, Y, and Z. It's not. But if that's the kind of reaction that you're giving me because I am sincerely interested in how you will stand up for this relationship, then you're very obviously the wrong person for me. But as always, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Is this a situation that resonates with you? Do you have any other advice that wasn't mentioned that you think would be helpful for this woman? I will purposefully look for a happy post next week. As we always say on our channel, with God, all things are possible. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.